My brother insulted me to hide his secret. Then I found out the truth. I stopped giving him money. Then his life fell apart. I am a man. I am 31 years old. I grew up near Pittsburgh. I always had grease on my hands. My brother Liam is younger. He is 29. He always got good grades in school. Our house was small. It had 3 bedrooms. The outside plastic was coming off. Dad said he would fix it next summer. But he never did. Dad worked at a steel mill. He lost his job in 2008. The economy was bad then. He worked there for 16 years before that. He came home tired. His boots had metal bits on them. He looked very tired after work. Mom worked at Denny's. She worked any shift she could get. Sometimes she worked 2 shifts. Her feet got big and hurt. We had enough money, but we did not have extra money. Fixing the car was always a big problem. School trips cost money. We had to plan for it. When I was 17, I knew I would not go to college. Liam studied for his big school test. I learned to fix power lines. On my first day, my teacher gave me a belt. He said, "If you drop this, you lose your job. If you fall, you die. It's simple." Liam got into Penn State. They gave him some money for school. Many family members came. They told my parents he was so smart. People wrote about it on Facebook. We put a Penn State sticker on our old car. Neighbors asked when we would take him to school. When I said I would fix power lines, people smiled small. They said things like, "At least it's good work." My Aunt Carol patted my shoulder. She said, "Not everyone is good at school, dear." I said yes. The next weekend, she called. She was scared. Her power was out. I fixed it for her. The first years were hard. I woke up at 4 a.m. At 5 a.m., we talked about safety. Then I worked hard for 8 to 12 hours. My muscles hurt a lot. Pennsylvania summers are very hot. Climbing poles in 95 degrees heat is hard. I had to wear all my safety gear. Winters were worse. Imagine hanging 40 feet up in the air. It is January. Ice is everywhere. I tried to fix power lines. My fingers felt nothing. I wore 2 pairs of gloves. But I made good money. A lot of money. Liam came home for winter break. He wore a Penn State shirt. He talked about his teacher. He talked like they were friends who drank together. Dad listened to every word. He nodded. He asked about school. When I came to dinner, Liam talked a lot. He talked about his roommate. His roommate's dad owned a tech company. He said book names. No one at the table knew them. He acted surprised we did not know them. If people talked about smart things, he would smirk. He would say, "Oliver wouldn't know. He just works with his hands." When he said hands on, it sounded bad. Like I was not smart. I would say, "Someone has to keep the lights on while you find yourself." Then everyone at the table would get quiet. Like I did something bad at church. I worked more when Liam was home. I did it for money, but also to be away from my own house. It was more peaceful. Liam finished college easily. He studied business. He got a job in Pittsburgh. He worked with money. Suddenly, he was the special child. He had done well. At family events, he was the star. Everyone listened to his stories. He talked about his city apartment. He talked about meeting important people. He talked about his stock money. He used big words. Words like buying companies, plans, and selling more. Mom would tell her friends about us. She would say, "This is Liam. He works with money." She sounded proud. Then she would say, "And this is Oliver. What does he do again, dear?" "He fixes power lines." She acted like she forgot my job. I did it for 5 years. The truth is, fixing power lines is good work. The hours can be very bad. When storms come, it is the worst. You have to climb poles in bad weather. But the pay is good. Very good. When I was 27, I made over $100,000. Last year, I made $115,000. I worked a lot during storms. I bought a house in North Hills. It had 3 bedrooms. I almost paid for it all. I saved $1,800 every month for when I am old. I had no debt. I did not buy fancy things. I just saved money. I bought my house from an old couple. The price was $30,000 less than normal. I paid $145,000 in cash. I closed the deal fast. Before that, I lived with my friend Sam. Our apartment was bad. I saved almost all my money for 3 years. My parents thought I was crazy. Then they saw the house papers. I fixed the water pipes myself. I fixed the old electric wires. I did this on weekends. I put in new windows. They saved energy. My heating bill was half as much. Neighbors saw me fix the roof. They saw me clean the outside walls. They nodded. They liked it. The house got better slowly. You could see it happen. But Liam lived in the city. His apartment had brick walls. It had factory-style lights. He paid almost $3,000 every month to live there. He rented a BMW car. The car sat in a parking lot most of the time. Every time we talked, he told stories. He talked about bars. Drinks cost $14 there. He talked about trips to Washington, D.C. He stayed at a friend's place. He said he worked with important people. But Liam talked a lot about money. He never seemed to save anything. He just spent money. And he talked about spending money. He started dating a girl named Melissa. She was tall. She had blonde hair. She always wore fancy sunglasses. Even when it was not sunny. She came to family dinners. She wore fancy clothes. My cousin Tim turned 30. At his party, Liam was mean to me in front of everyone. The party was at a beer place in the city. I came from work. I worked for 12 hours. I washed my hands. But I still had dirt under my nails. Liam and Melissa came an hour late. He acted like he was in charge. He ordered food for everyone. Then he told a story. He said he went to Chicago for work. He said, "You should see this hotel. It was on the 42nd floor. The windows went from floor to ceiling. The client asked me to stay longer." Then he said it loud. Everyone could hear. He said, "You wouldn't believe how much these big rooms cost. Probably more than you make in a week, right?" I said, "I wouldn't know. I spend my money on things I own." Everyone at the table made a sound. Like kids in high school. Liam's face moved funny. Then he laughed. But it was not real. He told everyone at the table, "That's Oliver. He's practical. That's what happens when you take shop class in high school." My cousin Tim's wife is Susan. She did not like Liam's behavior. She said loudly, "Didn't Oliver pay for his house when he was 27? Liam waved his hand like it was nothing. He said, "Houses in the suburbs don't count. My city apartment will be worth more money." People talked about other things. But I remembered his face. When Susan talked about my house, he looked like he ate something sour. That night, I put more money in my savings. I did it just to bother him. My parents had bad luck when the economy got bad. Dad's back got very bad after years of pain. He had 2 bad discs in his back. The doctor at work said it was just old age. He did this so the company would not pay Dad. Mom has arthritis. It hurts her joints. She dropped a tray at work. She got in trouble. She had to stop working. Bills came. They owed more on their house than it was worth. The bank would take their house. My cousin who works at the bank told me. I paid the money they owed. I helped them sell their house. I found them a good apartment. It had 2 bedrooms. It was for older people. I moved them myself. I rented a truck. 2 friends from work helped me. Then I paid their rent. I paid their power bill. I paid for their food. It cost me about $2,100 every month. I could afford it. But it was a lot of money. At first, they were thankful. Maybe they felt bad. But that did not last. Soon, they just expected it. Dad would call. He would say, "The TV bill is high this month." Or he would say, "We want to try that food delivery service." He always thought I would pay for it. That summer, I planned a fishing trip. I was going to Michigan. I was going with guys from work. I planned it for months. I paid money to hold the cabin. I bought new fishing things. I had everything ready. 2 days before the trip, Mom called. She said, "Your dad's medicine plan changed." I knew her voice. It meant she wanted money. She said, "The new costs are crazy, Oliver. Almost $400 this month." I looked at my bag by the door. It was packed. I could not get my cabin money back. My cooler was full of drinks. I said, "I will send the money tomorrow." I thought about my budget. This would make it tight. I called Sam. I told him I could not go. I lied about work. He probably did not believe me. I used my days off to fix my deck instead. The whole time, I thought about Liam. What was he doing with his days off? Probably at a place with a special pool. Drinking drinks with little umbrellas. Liam knew I helped our parents. He never offered to help pay. He always had an excuse. He would say he was waiting for a bonus. Or he was moving his money. But he always told us about his new job. Or about fancy dinners he went to. Sometimes he would say, "It must be nice to have an easy job. No real stress. Just hard work." This came from him. His biggest danger at work was a paper cut. 3 years ago, I started dating Amanda. She is 28 years old. She is very practical. She does not let people be mean to her. She studied physical therapy. She is an expert. She helps workers who get hurt on the job. She helps men like my dad. She helps them move again after years of hard work. She drives an 8-year-old Subaru car. She takes good care of it. She spends only what she has. She tells patients who are lazy to do their exercises. She is not nice about it. Our third date was at a hardware store. We did not plan it. We planned to eat dinner. But she said she needed new cabinet parts. We spent 2 hours talking about drawer parts. Then we ate pizza on her floor. We sorted screws while we ate. It was the best date I had in years. My parents liked her right away. She talked to them for real. Liam's girlfriends always looked at their phones. But Amanda asked Dad about his therapy. She showed him better ways to do his exercises. With Mom, she talked about cooking. She gave gardening tips. Mom had a small garden on her patio. Liam did not talk about his work anymore. He just said vague things. He said he had a new client. But he would not say who. He met Amanda at a family dinner. He raised his eyebrows a little. He looked surprised I was with her. He said, "Physical therapy? That must be rewarding." The way he said it, he meant it did not pay well. Amanda just smiled. She said, "I help people be independent again. They got hurt badly. Years ago, they would have been disabled forever. And the pay is good. Not everyone thinks success is where you live." Liam changed the subject fast. Amanda and I got serious fast. After 6 months, we had keys to each other's houses. We spent Sunday mornings together. Around then, she noticed something about my parents. She saw how they called with emergencies. The emergencies always needed the exact amount of money they did not have that month. She saw how I never said no, even when it meant canceling our plans. Even when I had to change my budget. One night, I ate ice cream. It hurt my tooth. I made a face. She said, "You know you put off that toothpick for 8 months?" We were on my deck. The summer air was warm. The sun was down. She said, "And you send your parents money for better TV." I shrugged. I said, "It's not so bad. The pain pills work. Until they don't. Then you need to pull the tooth. That costs twice as much. Your parents have government health care. They get money from the government. They have choices. Your tooth is not optional, Oliver." I said, "They are my parents." Like that explained everything. She said, "And I am your partner. That means I can tell you when you are being silly. You are hurting yourself to help others." 3 days later, I finally got my tooth fixed. Amanda drove me home. She got my medicine for me. I did not ask her to. She never said, "I told you so." Not even once. That night, the medicine made me fuzzy. She sat on my bed. She said something I could not ignore. She said, "I need to know something. Are we building a future together? Or am I just watching you pay for your family's life? While you put your life on hold?" Her question hit me hard. My words were not clear. I said, "I want a future with you." She said, "Then we need to talk about limits. Right now, you have no limits. I will not spend my life coming second. Second to your parents' TV bill. Second to Liam's rent problems." She held my hand. She said, "I love that you are reliable, Oliver. But there is a difference. Being dependable is good. Being a money machine is bad." She was right. I knew she was right. But knowing and doing are different. Last December, things changed. My parents asked me to come for coffee on Sunday. They seemed nervous. That was not like them. Mom stirred her coffee a lot. She said, "Liam has money problems. He would not want us to tell you. But he has not paid his rent." I sat there. I thought about this. Liam, the big success, could not pay rent? I asked, "What happened?" Dad looked up. He said, "The company changed things. They moved him to a new job. He makes less money. He is too proud to say he is in trouble. He would be mad if he knew we asked you." Mom said fast, "But Christmas is coming. We thought you could help him. Just for a few months. Until he is okay again." I did not answer right away. Part of me wanted to laugh. Liam had made fun of my job for years. The thought that he needed my help felt good. Bad, but good. I finally said, "I will think about it." And I did think about it. Amanda thought I should help. Not for Liam. For my parents. They were clearly worried. So I decided to pay his rent for 3 months. It would be a Christmas gift. No rules. No talk. Just money to help him. I told Amanda my plan. She was careful. She said, "That is nice of you. Just make sure he knows. This is help. Not a free gift. And please, make him sign a paper." I laughed. I said, "It's a Christmas gift. Not a bank loan." She did not laugh. She said, "You are giving your brother money. Enough to buy a good used car. He has never been grateful for anything you did. You should say thank you the right way." I went to my parents' house for Christmas. Amanda was with me. I had an envelope in my pocket. Liam came an hour late. He said there was bad traffic. Then I noticed Melissa was not there. They had been together almost 2 years. They were always together. Mom gave Liam a drink. She asked, "Where is Melissa?" He said quickly, "We are spending time apart." Then he talked about something else. During dinner, Liam was quiet. He did not talk about money or trips. He asked Dad about his therapy. He seemed to listen. He said Mom's turkey was good, but we all knew it was dry. He asked Amanda about her work. He was not mean like usual. He was very nice all night. Like he knew he had to be good to be there. But old habits are hard to break. After dinner, we gave gifts. I gave Liam an envelope. It had $2,400 cash inside. That was enough for 3 months' rent. My parents told me how much he needed. There was no card, no note, just money. He opened it slowly. He looked at the money. He raised his eyebrows. He looked around the room. He smirked. He said loud, trying to make up for being the loser in this family. People laughed. Dad made a sound in his drink. Mom covered her mouth. But she smiled. Amanda stood still next to me. Her face changed. She looked shocked. Then she looked angry. The room got quiet. I looked at him. No one laughed now. I grabbed the envelope from his hand. My voice was steady. I said, "You know what, Liam? You can stay in your own mess. The one you hide so well. Everyone here knows you have no money. Your credit cards are full. You will lose your apartment soon. But go ahead. Laugh at the guy who has his life together." His face turned white. I stood up. I helped Amanda with her coat. I walked to the door. I did not look back. The last thing I heard was Mom calling. "Oliver, don't be so sensitive." We were halfway to the car. Amanda turned around. She walked back to the apartment. I followed her. I did not know what she would do. She opened the door. She did not knock. She walked to the living room. My family sat there. It was quiet and awkward. She pointed at Liam. She said, "You are a bad brother. You will lose your expensive apartment. Oliver pays for your parents. While you pretend to be a businessman, he was going to help you. No rules. No questions." She turned to my parents. She said, "And you two are blind. You think he is perfect. You laugh when he is mean to Oliver. Oliver pays your bills. He keeps your lights on." We drove home. No one talked for 10 minutes. Then Amanda laughed. She said, "I can't believe I did that. That's not like me. I am always professional." But I smiled. I said, "That was the best thing I have ever seen." Her laugh stopped. She smiled small. She said, "Yeah?" I held her hand. I said, "No one has ever defended me like that." She said, "Just promise me something. Don't let them treat you badly again. I don't want to fight your fights. I want to build a life with you." I promised. The call started the next morning. They said he didn't mean it. It was just a joke. You know how he is. I let them go to voicemail. In January, there was an ice storm. I worked 16-hour shifts. At 2 a.m., I fixed power at a nursing home. I checked my phone. Mom called me 6 times. I ignored all of them. 2 days later, Amanda gave me her phone at dinner. Liam sent her a message on Facebook. It said, "Hey Amanda, I feel bad about Christmas. Oliver won't answer my calls. Maybe we can get coffee. You seem to understand." He sent it at 1:47 a.m. An hour later, he sent another. It said, "You seem like you should live in the city, not stuck with a guy who climbs poles for work. Maybe in another world, right?" Amanda said, "Are you kidding me?" She deleted the messages. She blocked him. She said, "Your brother is pathetic. And he hits on his brother's girlfriend at 2 a.m. I thought about hitting Liam. But that's what he wanted. He wanted to prove I was just a dumb worker. I would not give him that. People like Liam ruin their own lives. 2 weeks after Christmas, my parents came to my house. They did not call first. They stood on my porch. It was awkward. I let them in. Mom said right away, "Liam has not paid his rent. He will lose his apartment if he doesn't pay by Friday." Dad said fast, "He is sorry about what happened. He feels very bad." I leaned on my kitchen counter. I said, "If he feels so bad, why isn't he here? Why doesn't he tell me himself?" Mom looked at Dad. She said, "He is too ashamed." But I knew better. Shame was not why Liam stayed away. It was pride. His big ego could not ask for help. Especially not from his blue-collar brother. The brother who was not supposed to do better than him. I said, keeping my voice calm, "I have paid your rent and bills for 4 years. I never complained. I never used it against you. But I am making a rule now. If you want to help Liam, help him yourself. You have to choose. Either you take my help and stop defending Liam when he treats me badly, or we are done. I am not a money machine." They sat quiet for a long time. Mom wiped her eyes with a tissue. Dad looked at his hands. Dad finally said, "We never meant to take you for granted. We appreciate everything you do." Mom nodded. She said, "We will talk to Liam. We will make him understand." They chose the first option. They would take my help. and they would show me respect. I did not know if they would do it, but it was a start. Life went on. In February, I got a big job. I fixed power lines after storms. I worked 16-hour days. I worked in 3 counties. Then I heard from family. My cousin Steve told me. He can't keep secrets. I heard Liam borrowed money from family. $500 from Uncle Bill. $1,000 from cousin Tim. Tim just lost his job and got money. Liam always made big promises. He said when he would pay back. He said he would pay interest. He always had a story. He said it was just a temporary money problem. He would get a bonus soon. That cousin also told me something else. Melissa broke up with Liam before Christmas. His credit card did not work at a fancy restaurant. She said it was the last bad thing. After months of bad checks and excuses, I felt a little sorry for him. Even though I was angry, getting dumped in public hurts. Even if you were a jerk. But that sorry feeling went away. A week later, Mom called. She was crying. She said earlier in the week she couldn't find her earrings. I didn't think much about it. Then she told me the news. Dad's watch was gone. Her pearl earrings were gone. Some other valuable things were gone. She asked Liam about it. He said he didn't take them. He sounded so sure she almost believed him. Then she found a paper in his jeans. It was from a pawn shop. She found it when she did laundry. She cried on the phone. She said, I don't know what to do. He is my son. But he stole from us. Oliver, for the first time, she saw Liam clearly. I said, call the police. She gasped. She said, I can't do that to him. I said simply, then he will do it again. Next time it might be your wedding ring. She did not call the police. But she told Liam to move out. That was more brave than I thought she would be. He slept on friends' couches. People he didn't know well. Finally, he went to our cousin Ryan's house. He had nowhere else to go. By March, Liam's money problems were very bad. His credit cards were full. He borrowed from everyone who would talk to him. Sometimes he slept at his office. To save gas money. But he still came to family dinners. He wore fancy shirts. He still talked about a summer vacation he planned. But Amanda and I were doing well. I got a new job. I became a crew supervisor. My hours were better. I got more money. I managed a team of 8 linemen. I worked with local leaders when power went out. I handled emergency plans. The job came with a company truck. I could take it home. I got a special certificate. It added $4 more per hour to my pay. In April, I asked Amanda to marry me. It was not fancy, just the 2 of us. We were hiking in the Laurel Highlands. I had the ring for 3 weeks. I waited for the right time. She said yes before I finished asking. We set the date for October. That was 6 months after I asked. We sent invitations to family. We sent one to Liam too. He did not come. No call. No text. Nothing. The wedding was small. 50 people came. It was at an old barn outside the city. We fixed up the barn. It cost $15,000 total. We each paid half. We did not do the old way where the bride's family pays. My parents came early to help. Amanda's sister asked where my brother was. Mom made excuses fast. She said, he had an important work event. He sent a message saying he was sorry. He was very sad to miss it. I just nodded. I talked about something else. I would not let Liam ruin my wedding day. Mom didn't know something. I saw Liam's roommate Ryan at the hardware store. It was a week before the wedding. Ryan told me Liam stayed at his place. First he just slept there. Then he rented a room. Then he left. He owed 2 months' rent. He took Ryan's Xbox and golf clubs. He left no address. He was just gone one Tuesday. Ryan was at work. Ryan told people he might sue Liam. He said he kept all the papers and messages. He asked if I knew where Liam was. I didn't know. That was true. My brother disappeared. Not just from me. From everyone except our parents. For months after we got married, life was good. Amanda and I talked about saving for a bigger house. Maybe with land. I could have a workshop. I wanted to fix up a 1967 Mustang car. I wanted one for a long time. I loved the 1967 Mustang since I was 12. I saw one at a car show with my uncle. It was bright red. It had shiny metal parts. They looked like jewelry. I promised myself I would get one someday. Then my mother called on a Tuesday night in February. Her voice was tight. She said, Liam is in trouble. His friend Ryan is suing him. For the money he didn't pay back. And for the things he stole. They will go to court next month. If he doesn't pay the money. I didn't answer right away. Part of me wanted to say it was Liam's problem. He made his choices. She said when I didn't speak, he is in really bad shape, Oliver. I have never seen him like this. He has been staying with us for a month. That was new to me. I went to their apartment 2 weeks ago. I fixed their garbage disposal. I didn't see Liam there. She said, he leaves before you usually come. He comes back late. She said, he didn't want you to know he was here. Mom hesitated. She said, he sleeps on the sofa. He is out most days. Looking for work. I thought, looking for work, right? More likely hiding from people he owes money. We're selling things for cash. I asked, why are you telling me this? But I already knew why. She said, he needs help, Oliver. Real help this time. Amanda and I talked about it that night. She was not sure. She said, he has never said he was sorry to you. Not once in all this time. She was right. She said, but family is hard. If you help him, and that's a big if, it has to be on your terms. 3 days later, someone knocked on my door. It was about 9 p.m. Liam stood on my porch. He looked terrible. I almost didn't know him. I let him in. We sat at my kitchen table. There were 2 mugs of coffee. Neither of us drank. The silence was long. It was uncomfortable. I finally said, Mom tells me Ryan is suing you. He nodded. He looked at the table. He said, Ryan loaned me $15,000 last year. I kept telling him I would pay him back after my bonus. But there was no bonus. I haven't gotten a bonus in almost 2 years, he said quietly. The department change was really a demotion. I have been making only my base pay since then. I leaned back in my chair. I said, in all those networking events? The client dinners? The stock options? He laughed a fake laugh. He said, I ate free food at open houses. I slept on Ryan's couch 3 nights a week. To save on power bills. The stock options were real. But they are worth nothing now. The silence came back. It was heavier now. I waited. This was his time to talk. He said, I haven't been fair to you. I said, you could say that. He played with his coffee mug. He said, I always thought I would be. I don't know. More than I am now. I said, you always thought you were too good to be a good brother. His head came up fast. He said, I didn't say that. I said, you didn't have to say it. You showed it for years. He looked away again. He said, I messed up. Okay. Is that what you want to hear? I made bad choices. I lived on credit cards and lies for 2 years. I was too proud to say I got demoted. Too proud to move to a smaller apartment. Too proud to sell my car. It was not a great apology, but it was honest. Liam being honest was very rare these days. I said, not as a question. And now you need me to save you? He finally said, look, I need help, Ollie. I am drowning here. Ryan's lawsuit is just the start. Other people might sue me too. I haven't paid rent at Mom and Dad's place again. I looked at my brother's face. I really looked at him. Maybe for the first time in years. I looked past his fancy beard stubble. I looked past his fake confidence. He looked scared. He looked very tired. I tapped my fingers on the table. I let him sit in the silence. I finally said, you made fun of my job for years. Like I wasn't good enough. You made fun of me at Christmas. When I tried to help you, you hit on my girlfriend. He flinched each time I said something. I said, and now you are here, asking me to fix your mess. He said, I know I don't deserve it, but I have nowhere else to go. I let out a long breath. I said, okay, listen, I will help with the lawsuit money, but this is not a gift. It is a loan, with real rules. You will sign a legal paper. You will pay me back. We will agree on when, and you will get help with money problems. I know a person who helps with debt. His face showed relief right away. He said, anything. Whatever you need me to do, brother. I added, and one more thing. No more lies. No more pretending. If you are in trouble, you say so. To me. To Mom and Dad. To everyone. The lying stops now. He nodded. He said, okay. I said, and you need to find your own place. Mom and Dad's apartment is too small. You are stressing them out. He asked, where am I supposed to go? I can't afford rent anywhere good. I said, nowhere is good enough for you. That's the problem right here. I stood up. I said, figure it out. Get a roommate. Move to a cheaper area. Do what normal people do. When they can't afford something, they change. He looked like he wanted to argue, but he didn't. He said, fine. The next day, I sent the money. I had my lawyer make papers. Not just a handshake deal. A real legal paper. It said when he would pay. It said interest. It said what would happen if he didn't pay. Liam signed it. He didn't wait. I don't know if he will pay me back. His past says he won't. But that doesn't matter as much now. 6 months have passed. Liam got a new job. It's a beginner job at an insurance company. Not like his old finance job. But it is steady. He is paying me back. Small payments. But he pays regularly. He moved into an apartment. He shares it with 2 guys from his new job. It's not fancy, but he is making it work. He comes over for dinner sometimes. It's still awkward, but he is trying. Last week, he helped me put in a new water heater. I didn't ask him to. He didn't know a pipe wrench from a crescent wrench. But he handed me tools. He learned fast. We will never be best friends. Too much has happened. But we are learning how to be brothers again. Last month, Amanda and I bought 5 acres of land. It's outside the city. The house needs work. The kitchen is old. The carpets should have been replaced 10 years ago. The roof will need fixing soon. But the house is strong. It has a good structure. Most importantly, it has a separate 3-car garage. It's perfect for a workshop. Last weekend, I put new electric wires in the garage. I set up good workbenches on the walls. 2 weeks ago, the 1967 Mustang came. It came on a big truck. Right now, it's more rust than car. The old owner let it sit in a field for 15 years. Then he decided to sell it. The engine is stuck. It will need to be completely fixed or replaced. The inside of the car has mice. It looks like many generations of mice lived there. A small tree is growing through the floor on the passenger side. Rust has eaten half the floor. The side panels have holes like Swiss cheese. It's a perfect project car. Amanda looked at it and laughed. She said, "This will keep you busy until you retire." I said, "That's the point. I have spent most of my adult life fixing other people's problems. This car is my project. No deadline. No emergency. Just slow, careful work. Bringing something back to life. On my own time." Liam comes over sometimes to help with the car. He is bad with tools. But he is surprisingly good at finding hard-to-get parts online. For his birthday, I gave him a greasy carburetor. It needed to be fixed. The look on his face was funny, like I gave him a dead rat. But the next weekend, he came back. He had the fixed part. He looked very pleased. I raised my eyebrow. He said, "I watched YouTube videos. My parents have changed too. They still call when they need help. But now they ask. They don't just expect it." Dad takes a woodworking class at the senior center. He makes picture frames and small shelves. He gives them to us. They are a little crooked. But he insists. Mom sends soup home with us. Amanda actually likes the soup. She doesn't just pretend to. Last month, they called me. They told me they were getting cheaper TV. To save money. No drama. No hints that I should pay the difference. They just told me. Like normal adults making a budget change. Small steps. Sometimes I wonder what would happen. If I always said yes. If I never made that rule at Christmas. If I never made Liam sign that loan paper. If I never stood up for myself. I would probably still be giving away my money. Without asking questions. I would still be putting my life on hold. To pay for everyone else's life. But that's not what happened. It took me too many years to learn this. But I did learn it. Being reliable doesn't mean people can use you. Helping others doesn't mean you forget about yourself. And sometimes, the best thing you can do for people you love is to stop helping them do bad things. Last Sunday, Liam came over. He didn't call first. He brought a box of parts. He found them for the Mustang. We worked on the engine for 3 hours. It was quiet and comfortable. When he left, he gave me an envelope. It had his loan payment. He was 2 weeks early. He said, "I got a small bonus." He didn't sound like his old self. He said, "I thought I should use it for this."